And so what is a database, right? So simple terms, we can say a database is a collection of data and information that is organized so that it can be easily accessed, managed, and updated. It's a basically collection of data and information. You can simply say that. But you can easily access. Access means you can use the data quickly, efficiently. You can manage the data. Manage meaning like you can add, edit, delete. It's easy to manage data. You can share. Management of data is very easy, and you can easily update as well. If you look at the types of databases, there are two types. One, manual. Two, electronic. Now, manual means we used to keep records, isn't it? Now, sometimes we have address book, we have telephone directories manually. Maybe we will write in a small book, right? So those are manual databases. But when data grows, there are difficulties when you're creating manual databases, right? Especially when you're writing down, when things are getting higher and higher, the number of records are higher, then maybe one book is not enough, right? Sometimes you cannot add new data, you don't have any space, right? So we say it's less efficient and less accuracy also. Data production is difficult. If somebody steals your phone directory, that's gone, right? Changes are difficult. If you want to search somebody's phone number, name, right? Sometimes you will have a very difficult time, right? If it is a organization level, more manpower is needed. So you need a place to keep the records. You have to secure it, right? So that means you have a secure personnel. And then if you want to search something, you need like at least a couple of work aids to search for data, right? So which means this is difficult, right? I want everyone to finish quickly. I'm taking time because some of you are still working on the question. Okay, so that's why we have electronic databases nowadays. And what we are going to discuss in this lesson is Microsoft Access. But remember, it's a commercial, meaning you have to pay, and then it's proprietary, meaning like it's all owned by Microsoft, and we are not, have access to their code and so on. But there are some other alternatives like MySQL and MariaDB. Both are the same, but slight differences. Free and open source, but MySQL now owned by Oracle. Oracle is another database, commercial and proprietary. And LibreOffice, they have their own versions called Base, and again, it's free and open source. Then I briefly list out the newer versions you might see in the web courses. This Firebase is used as a database for the mobile applications. Neo4j is a network database like social networks. If you want to like find out relations in social media like Facebook, Instagram, right? So Neo4j is used. Then MongoDB is what do you call non-SQL databases, we call it, or NoSQL. And then SQLite is a single database. You will see it's a single file actually. SQLite very light database system. Right now, the advantages I said, you can easily create tables, more data can be stored. You know, in a pen drive, you can keep a lot of details. Searching is very, very easy. Security is high. You can encrypt, meaning nobody can seize your data. and you can keep your copies, keeping multiple copies is easy, which you are not going to lose anymore. Data filtering, for example, easy. If you want somebody to identify, where he lives, for example, it's easy to filter out. Sharing is easy. You can just copy paste your database and you can share with somebody else. Right. Now, next thing that we have discussed, when you are defining the data, we specify some data types. We started looking at the text data type, meaning you can have letters, numbers, and special characters. If you take a phone number, it will be a text. It's not a number because it starts with a 0 and you have a 10 digits. So there are some properties that you have to maintain. So we have to take it as a text. Then numbers, usually when you say a number, you should be able to use it for calculations. If that is not the case, right, then it will not be a number. So you have to, if that particular field can be used for the calculations, then you can consider it as a number. Then currency, more accurate version of numbers. We will later on learn that some numbers we cannot exactly represent inside the computer. But then again, if it comes to financial information, accuracy is very, very important. So usually we will use separate data type to handle this. Then date and time and Boolean. So these are the common data types that we have discussed, right? And then next thing is about the properties, size of the data entered into field. Now, I told you, like, when you take a phone number, it's a text. Then we know that here in Sri Lanka, we have 10 digits for a phone number. So you can fix it. You can say that, okay, yeah, you have 10 digits. Okay, right. And then you can use different formats like capital, simple, integer, decimal, different data formats, different times, we have 24 and so on. Right. The next thing that we discuss a couple of examples, and I have given you a homework for me to submit. So I have records of those who have submitted and also those who have not submitted. So remember that if you do not work hard, you cannot get a good grade. That is what we witnessed last time as well. Those who have worked, they have got an A. But others, it was difficult, right? So when you are given a work, it's your responsibility to finish and send. Nobody is there to tell, okay, send. Now you are adults, meaning you make your own decisions. So remember, the decisions that you are make right now will affect your future as well. I'm repeating this because you will see, right? Make sure that you do not regret what you're doing right now. You have to accept it. So remember this, very important, because majority, when you're in your age, you don't realize the importance of doing things on time, right? And also, like, you take it very seriously. So when it comes to your education, make sure that you take it very serious, because you can go anywhere you want if you excel in education. So that is actually my experience as well. I'm coming from the same area. I went for this similar school. And then right now I'm working in the university as a senior lecturer, but I'm having this only class for you. I told you, right, there are no more classes, only one. This is the only class I have for grade 10 English, right? And you are the smallest group of students I'm handling, right? So I will handle you. I'm handling a lot of university students. I'm handling a lot of postgraduate students, those who are doing masters and PhDs. And then I'm handling industry people as well. So if you search myself in the internet, you will see I'm working with the industries like Dialogue, Data Academy, NSPM, SLTC. Uh, so, so my area is very vast, but I cannot do, I can't give you A, or I can't give your part. If you do not take it, you have to take it. So remember, I'm taking some time because I'm sometimes disappointed because you are not realizing the value of this, right? Most of the time, if you are doing, I hope you know that my bachelor's in engineering degree in computer engineering, and then I have a postgraduate degree in computer and system sciences from Stockholm University, Sweden, right? So most of the time when I'm teaching, um, I'm not a traditional teacher, but I'm a university teacher where I think the practicals are more important because I'm an engineer by training. So because of that, I focus more on practicals. So hopefully we can have physical classes very soon, and we have to change the time to Saturday as well. But I will keep online class. I mean, those who couldn't, participate for physical classes, still I'm going to continue the online, but we are going to start physical soon. But only problem is we have to change the date, right? To some time on Saturday. So let's see, I will discuss individually. But the point again, I want to stress out, do your homework. Do it that day itself. If I give you a homework today, finish it today. Don't wait until, another day. You don't get this time. You don't realize it, right? The age you are in right now, it's your precious time. Right? Keep this in mind, make a note. And if you want to success, work hard. There's no other way, right? Nobody there to help you once you have a grown up. Now, right now, you have your parents with you. But, when times goes by, you are alone, you are, nobody you to guide you, right? You make your own decisions, right? So be responsible. So when I ask, okay, do it, I don't want any excuses, just do it. Because I have seen like excuses in various levels. So if you are making excuses, which means in future also, you are going to make excuses. But having said that, there are many, really good students in the class. I told you, like, I'm not worried about the marks you are getting in the class. But when you make mistakes, you should learn from your mistake, right? Even today, I have said the marks range from, I have given 21 questions. Some got about 6, some got about 16. You know where you are, right? You have plenty of time. You have another year to get where you want. Ideally, what I expect from this is at least you should get 80. So that's my target. If you're below 80 means you won't get A in your O levels. I'm not, what do you call it? මම පුතාල බය කරනවා නෙමෙයි, නමුත් ඒ කැපවීම ඕනේ. Work hard. ලකුණු මදි නම් ලකුණු දාන්න ඕගොල්ලෝ. I'm not going to share that. It's with you. ඔයා දන්නවා ලකුණු ඔයාගේ මොකක්ද කියලා. කොච්චර මහන්සි වෙන්න ඕන කියලා දන්නවා. මම පුතාලට හැමදාම කියනවා දැන් මේ මිස් වෙච්චි අය සමහර වෙලාවට data representation වල දුර්වලයි. You can request questions because everything is digital. I can share, even I can share lessons with you. සමහර වෙලාවට මම අප්ලෝඩ් කරන්න පුතේ කල් ගන්න වෙලාවල් තියෙනවා, but usually I have everything with me. Whenever you need assistance, contact me. Right. So let's get back to the lesson. Okay, still there are one person to submit. Now I think you should finish. Otherwise, it means that you are taking too much of time, right? We started 5:10. There are 21 questions. For one question, you will get 1.5 minutes, right? Hopefully, you should have finished by about 33 minutes time. If you take longer than that, that means you have to improve that one as well, right? If you want me, I can give you like how many minutes you have spent on the quiz. It is recorded, but make sure that you spend time on questions. If you need more questions, let me know. I can share. Right. So let's start with the admission number, and I want everyone to type your answer. If you're not sent in, give me the answer right now. I want everyone to send me the answer in the chat. Right, admission number. What is the data type? Yes, this is my answer. So I prefer text, right? It could be a number, but we know numbers are used when you use for calculations, but admission number is not like that, right? Date of admission, yes, we have to say date and time both, right? So usually we say date and time, not date, not time. You say date and time. You can say date/time or date and time. Subject code, just subject code. Again, you can say text or it could be a number. But again, we know usually subject codes are not used for calculations. So best would be text. ISBN, for any book, you see ISBN number, it's a unique number to recognize each of these books, because sometimes there are several books with the same name. The same author may publish multiple books. So if you want to distinguish each book, then you have to have a unique number. So that gives ISBN number. That is also, I prefer to have text. Department name. Department name. Text, right? So no doubt about it. Number of passengers. Number of passengers. It's a number, right? Definitely it's a number, right? So here are my answers. Right now, you know what answers you have got. So please correct them. Right. Now, I think we are ready to move on to the next part. In the next part, what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about something called relational database systems, right? The database based on relations, we call relational database systems. So the last time I showed you, right, the databases, and most of the databases example software that we have discussed, like Access, SQLite, and so on, they are relational databases. They talk about something called relations. I will show you an example, right? So you will have multiple tables. Usually, when you look at the data set, especially electronic database, you have multiple tables, but they are related to each other. So that's why we use the term relational database systems. So let's ask this question then. What is a relational database? Right. So this is the topic. Yes. Now we can ask, right? What is a relational database? Okay. So if you ask me what is a relational database, my answer would be it's a collection of related tables. Simply, it's a collection of related tables. You see, soon I will show you an example. The database, the tables are related to each other, right? So let's take down the answer. Simply, we can say, okay, it's a relation of database. A relational database consists of collection of related tables. Now, what is okay? I will give you the symbol. Now, usually, if you type the term database, and if you look something in the web, the database symbol you will see, right? Right, database symbol, right? If you look at, right, usually look like this, database symbol. Usually you will see this. This is actually graphical representation. You don't have to take down this, but just for your information, when we graphically represent databases in somewhere, we usually use this representation, right? Database, a cylinder, simply cylinder, right? Cylindrical shape we use to represent a database. Okay, so that's usually we use the symbol, right? So at your level, we are not supposed to, talk about these things. But then again, I told you what we have in a database is a collection of related tables, right? That's what I said. So when I say collection of tables, like then we need to know what a table is, right? So you already know what a table is. Right? So the table consists of rows and columns, right? So usually we have rows and columns. So usually you will see a symbol like this for the tables, rows and columns. So each record we have a row, then columns we have features. Like if it is a, let's say, telephone directory, so you have name in one column, telephone numbers in other columns, right? So we can take down, right? A table is a collection of records. A table is a collection of records. This is the record, right? Usually this side we have records. So you can see here we have records. So each row we can take it as a record. Then we have fields, right? Fields. So each of these columns we can see it's a field. So this is fields. So for example, here we have 3 records and 3 fields, like name is a field, telephone number is a field, address is another field, and so on. Okay. Right. Now let me give you example database. We'll first take down, and later actually we are going to look at this, right? Now I told you the cylindrical shape we will use to represent the database. So we are going to start with that one. We'll draw a very large cylindrical database. Actually, you don't have something like this. This is only a graphical representation because we are going to do practicals on this one. And we will see how this works. Okay. Now, let me give you an example. So I told you the database, we use the representation of this one. So that's why we have this large cylindrical shape. And I'm going to say this is a relation table. Now, things that we are going to learn later on. Now, for example, here, when you have a data about a person and his subjects and the marks, right? Usually, we are not going to put in the same table. We are going to break down this. Now, for example, we have a student table, right? Don't take down, I will give you time. So this is student table. So student table, you have the details about the student, right? You can see in this table, student table, you can see you have admission number, name, and address, right? So here is another table. Now this is, we can say, subject table. Why subject table? It consists of details about the subject's code and subject's name. And then third one, you have marks table, right? You have marks table. So in according to this one, marks are kept in a separate table, right? And the highlighted ones we call primary keys. That idea I'm going to discuss after finishing this one. The highlighted one I actually underscore here to represent that this is a unique value. Admission number is unique value, unique for everyone. Remember, now you have given admission number in the school. It's unique to you. Right? අපි අර කියන්නේ හන ගහන හන ගහනවා නේද කියන්නේ. නේද? අපි හරක්ට තියෙන හන ගහනවා කියලා. අඳුර ගන්න ලියනවා අංකයක්. හිරේට ගිහපම දෙනවා අංකයක්. It's unique. දැන් ඕගොල්ලන්ටත් එහෙමයි ඉස්කෝලේ ගිහපම දීලා තියෙන හන ගහනවා වගේ තමයි දීලා තියෙන අංකයක්. මොනවා හරි දෙයක් වුණොත් ඔය අංකෙන් තමයි ඔයාලව හොයන්නේ. So it's we call primary key. Similarly, subjects also you have codes. මේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් O level exam එකට යනවනේ ලබන අවුරුද්දේ මේ වෙනකොට දැන් තලා හිතුවේ නැත්තම් දැන් ඉන්නේ 10යි 10 අන්තිම දැන් 10 ඉවරයි ලබන අවුරුද්දේ මේ වෙනකොට පුතාලා මේ papers ලියනවා හොගාලා මහසි වෙනවා දැන් අපේ කලින් group එකත් මේ දවස්වල හොගාලා papers කරනවා හරි ඔයාලා අද කරෙත් එහෙම paper එකක් තමයි මම ඒකෙම ඔයාලට අදාළ ටික ප්‍රශ්න ටික විතරක් ඉතුරු කරලා දුන්නා. Please electronically මට තියෙන්නේ. I can easily change. Database කතාවක්ම තමයි තියෙන්නේ. Right. Okay. So what I want to tell, subject codes are unique. විභාගයට යද්දී ඔයාලට දෙනවා සිංහල මෙන්න code එක. මෙන්න ඉංග්‍රීසි code එක නේද? අන්න ඒ විදිහට you have subject codes, it's unique. මේ එකත් මම highlight කරලා තියෙන නැත්නම් මේක underline කරලා තියෙන්නේ. අන්න තියෙනවා. තුන්වෙනි ටේබල් එක මාක්ස් ටේබල් එක. ඒ කියන්නේ කොයි විෂයන් වලටද ළමයි ගත්තු ලකුණු කියන එකයි තියෙන්නේ. ඒතර අපි දන්නවා මේකේ විදිහට සමාන ඔව් මම මෙහෙම අහන්නම් ප්‍රශ්නේ. So let me ask this question. Give me the answer in the chat. Right? The question is okay. What is the ICT marks for someone? Right? Someone ICT වලට ලකුණු කීයක් කරන් තියෙනවා? Table එකෙන් බලන්න. How do you know get this? Someone okay මෙතන someone ඉන්නවා. ICT වලට okay ICT තියෙන ලකුණු කීයද? මේ table එකේ someone ඉන්නේ මෙතන. ඊට පස්සේ ICT කියන්නේ මේක. හරි. මෙන්න ලකුණු. Right? He has got 95 marks for ICT. You see how you are going to figure this out. එහෙනම් අහන්න පුළුවන් ඇයි මෙහෙම වෙන් කරලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා. රීසන් එක අපි කතා කරනවා. So these are more compact. අපි නම තිබුණා නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ මෙතන? නිකන් හිතන්න. ඇඩ්මිෂන් නම්බර් එක 9යි ඇඩ්‍රස් එකයි තිබුණා. මොකද වෙන්නේ? සමන්නික වැඩි. සමන්නික වැඩි. තැන් දෙකක තියෙනවා. There are in two places. සමන්ට ටික කාලයක් නික වැඩි ඉඳි ඇති වෙලා දාලා යන කුරුණෑගල. What happened? You have to change everywhere where Saman is. Very difficult. එහෙමද? සබ්ජෙක්ට් කෝඩුත් එහෙමයි. වෙනස් වෙනවනේ. ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ තියෙන සබ්ජෙක්ට් හරියට වෙනස් වෙනවා. හරි? ඒවා ටේබල් එකේ එහෙම තිබිලා වෙනස් කරන්න ගියොත් එහෙම කරදරයි. So we have a unique code given and we just have to change here. එහෙනම් මේ කුරුණෑගල ගියොත් එහෙම Saman ටග් ගාලා මෙතන වෙනස් කරනවා. නැත්නම් අපි හිතමු ගයන් හිතනවා නම වෙනස් කරගන්නවා. So he doesn't like his name. Wants to have the latest අපි මේ දවස්වල යන අලුත් නම. සමහර අය කොරියන් අයට කැමති ඉන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ අර ප්‍රොෆයිල් පික්චර්ස් වල එහෙම දැන් කොරියන් අය එහෙම ඉන්නේ පුතේ නේ ලංකාවේ ළමයින්ගේ පින්තූර එහෙම නැහැ. right? නමත් වෙනස් කරගන්න. අපි සමහරලාට එහෙම වෙන අවස්ථා තියෙනවා. So if you want to change, like you can change it here. Okay. And it will change everywhere. So it's related tables. එතකොට අපි මේක හොයුවේ කොහොමද? සමන්ගේ ICT marks එකම අපි බැලුවේ admission number එක මේකෙන් බලුවා සමන්ගේ කීයද කියලා. මේක සම්බන්ධ. subject code එක මේ table එකකින් බලුවා. මෙන්න මේක දිහා බලලා අපි මේ උත්තරේ ගත්තා. So that's how relations works. අපි මේක තව ගැන ඉස්සරහට කතා කරමු. We are going to discuss more. Now let's take down this and then once you finish, please let me know in the chat. So now we are going to look at what would happen if we have the same data without relations. So it will be a single table like this. You might think this is easy to handle, but not. The next one we have Gaya. Marks for ICT. Then we have 90. Look like this. Okay, but there are problems. What are the problems? Here are the problems. Issues. Need to wait until all information. What do you mean by all information? Name, address, subject, marks. Enter new. ළමයා ඉස්කෝලේට ගත්ත හැබැයි ළමයා ඉස්කෝලේට ගත්ත ගමන් මේක ටේබල් එකට දාන්න බෑ. ඇයි? විෂය ලකුණු විෂය ඕනේ ලකුණු ඕනේ. එහෙම හදලා තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට we have to wait until all information is available. Right? We need to wait until all information available. Okay? ළමයා ඉස්කෝලේට ගත්ත ගමන් විස්තර දාන්න බෑ database එකට. So you have to wait until subject and marks. නේ පළවෙනි වාරේ ඉවරලා විභාගේ තියෙනකන් ඉන්න ඕනේ. බැලලත් අපේ වගේ කොරෝනා තිබුණොත් එහෙම ළමයාගේ නම දාන්න වෙන්නේ මේ අවුරුද්දේ. Isn't it? Huh? It's a problem. But in previous one, so in previous one, we have a student details separately. So we can easily give an admission number. We can give a name. we can give address. So we can include, we know that he has not done the subjects yet, but we can include it here. But if you have the table like this, you have to wait. Okay. Need to wait, right? When update is needed, it has to be done in several places. Aki saman nikivarti yana kurnagalta, right? What will happen? You have to change in two places, isn't it? According to the table that we have created. But here only one place. So if you are going to create the same data in a single table, when you need an update, when the change is needed, it takes a lot of time. අපි අතින්නම් කරගෙන යන්නේ අපි දැන් මේ රෙකෝඩ් තුනයිනේ තියෙන්නේ 1000ක් 2000ක් ලක්ෂයක් නේ එහෙමනේ data තියෙන්නේ එක තැනක අමතකුණු මොකද වෙන්නේ එක තැනක සමන් ඉන්නවා නිකවරටි තව තැනක සමන් ඉන්නවා කුරුණෑක see there are a lot of issues right when deleting a record right some information will be lost දැන් උදාහරණයක් විදිහට right someone මකලා දැම්මොත් mathematics subject එක කියන එකත් මැකිලා යනවානේ සමන්ව මැකුවොත් එහෙම සමන් මකනවා කියන්නේ අපි පළවෙනි records දෙක අයින් කරොත් mathematics කියන subject එක ගැන තියෙන තොරතුරක් මේකේ නැති වෙනවා අපි දන්නේ මේ mathematics කියලා subject එකක් තියෙනවද නැද්ද කියලා so when you are deleting a record you are going to lose some information හැබැයි මේක එහෙම වෙන්නේ සමන් වයින් කරාට කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ මේ තොරතුරු ටික අපි ගාව තියෙනවා so remember that without this we'll have a lot of issues without relations so that's why we are going to have relations so let's take down the advantages by creating simple tables simple let's say related tables no simple tables and relate them using foreign keys don't worry about the name you will learn we can avoid these issues right එහෙනම් අර අපි කලින් කතා කරා වගේ tables හදලා ඒවා සම්බන්ධ කරොත් we can avoid these issues right let's write down what are the issues right? That means then we can say with the simple related tables we can say it is easy to insert new records update existing records right remove your records We can say like this with the simple letter. It is easy to insert records, update records, remove records. You don't have any issues when we have simple tables like this. Now I'm going to talk about some concepts that you need in relational tables. But before that, let me know whether you have finished this one. In relational database, every table should have something called a primary key. Remember, every table should have a primary key. So what is the primary key? It's a unique field. The values are unique, which can be used to identify each of these records separately. Now, if you take this one, primary key for this, right? Primary key, I'm going to say PK, primary key. Now, primary key for student table is what? Can we take name as a primary key? Can we take name? What do you think? Is the name is unique for everyone? අපි කියනවා සමන් දිසානායක. සමන් දිසානායක කියන නමින් ඉන්න එක පුද්ගලයාද පුතේ? Facebook එකේ ගහලා බලන්නකො තමුන්ගේ නම කී දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද සමානයි? මමත් ගහලා බැලුවා මගේ නම. ඒ නමින්ම ඉන්නවා. මගේ නමම තියෙනවා. Quite strange. Huh? It's not unique. Address. Can we have address? ඉස්කෝලේ එක නම් නේද? අයියයි මල්ලි දෙන්නම ඉස්කෝලේ එනවා නම් address එක සමානයි. Can we have address as a primary key? No, you can't. That's why you have been given admission number. Admission number. It's unique to you. මං කිව්ව අර හන ගැහුවා කියලා. ඒක unique. නේ? ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ admission numbers ka it's unique to you. Right. Take the subject table. You can argue for this one, but you know, subject sometimes you have the same name. Right? So the subject name itself, sometimes you cannot use it. Old syllabus, new syllabus, but you have same name, right? Very difficult this. So that's why you have a subject code. Subject code. So that's the primary key. When you have a new syllabus, you have a different subject code, but subject name will be the same. Right? Right. Marks table, primary key. The marks table එකේ පුතේ primary key එක ගත්තොත් admission number එක විතරක් ගන්න බෑ. ඇයි? අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම sum 1001 කියන එක තැන් දෙකක තියෙන එක unique නෑ. Subject code එකත් එහෙමයි. නේ? ICT කියන 100 කියන එක තැන් කීපයක තියෙන. ඒ නිසා admission number කියන එකවත් subject code කියන එකත් වෙන වෙනම ගන්න බෑ primary key කියලා. හැබැයි මේ දෙකම එකට ගත්තොත් අපි කියන එකට composite key කියලා. Right? Marks table එකේ primary key එක වෙන්නේ. Right? The primary key for the marks table. Primary key for the marks table is admission number, right? And subject code. මේ දෙකම එකතු වෙලා අන්න අලුත් දෙයක් අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තා. එහෙනම් primary key කියලා කියන 아무තු දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. අපිට record වෙන වෙනම හඳුනා ගන්න පුළුවන් ක්ෂේත්‍රයක් primary key කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. හරි? එතකොට admission number තමයි student table එකේ primary key එක. subject code එක තමයි subject table එකේ primary key එක. හැබැයි marks table එක ගත්තොත් තනියකින් අපිට මේක කියන්න බැරි වෙනවා මේකක්වත්. කෙනෙක් මට කියන්න බෑ ඇයි marks කියලා. marks එකම ලකුණු තියෙන්න පුළුවන් නේ. Then you cannot use marks. Right. අපි එහෙනම් මේක ලියාගෙන ඉමු. Right. I hope you got an idea. It will be more clearer when we discuss more examples. Right. So the longest answer or definition for primary key is you can say a column or set of columns. It could be one, it could be many. Can be used to uniquely identify each of the records in a table is known as primary key. There should be only one primary key for the table and it should not be empty. Okay, it should not be it should not be empty and no duplicates values are allowed. It should not be empty. Ek empty වෙන්න බෑ. It should not be empty and no duplicate values are allowed. ඒ කියන්නේ primary key එකක් නැතුව තියෙන්න බෑ. Right, let's write down an example. Example. Right. Admission number in the student table. What else? Subject code in the subject table. Right. I will give you time to take down. Look at this table. Let's say we have a table called resource table. In resource table, we have index number, average, rank, class, and admission number. Right. Can you tell me what is the primary key? Right. පුතාලා මට කියන්න මේකේ primary key කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Hmm? Oh, දෙව්මිනි. පුතේ මේකේ primary key කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? What is the primary key for this? Index number. Okay. Malidu said index number. Okay. Index number. Okay. Devmini? Dulaj? Okay. Dulina? Yes. In the chat we get. Yeah. Okay. Some says admission number. Some says index number. Right? Imagine said both the index number and admission number. Okay, one thing you need to remember. It says there should be only one primary key for a table. එකයි තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? දැන් මේ table එක ගත්තහම we can see both admission number and index number can be considered. හැබැයි එකයි ගන්න පුළුවන්. හරි? Therefore, we'll take one. We'll take admission number. Okay? නේද? විභාගෙදි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් එනවනේ වාට index එකක් තියෙනවා. විභාගෙදි අපිට admission number එකක් දෙනවා නේ. වෙනම unique number එකක් දෙනවා අපි අඳුර ගන්න. ඒතර ඔයාලගේ index number එකත් unique තමයි. admission number එකත් unique. ඒතර දෙකෙන් එකයි අපි ගන්න ඕනේ. හරි? ඒක තමයි මට මේකෙදි කියන්න ඕනේ. අපි ඒක ලියලා පොතේ අපි අදට නතර කරගමු. right. යටින් ලියමු. එහෙනම් මතක තියන්න. unique අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් මේ දෙකම unique කියලා. Both, right, index number and admission number can be considered as they are unique. However, there should be only one primary we can say admission number can be taken as the primary key. අපි මේවට වෙන විශේෂ නමකුත් පාවිච්චි කරන නමුත් පුතාලගේ ලෙවල් එකේදී අපි ඒක කතා කරන්නේ. But remember, it could be index number, it could be admission number. විභාගෙදී ඔය දෙකම වෙන වෙනම ගන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි එකයි අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන්. So මම මේකෙදි ගන්නවා admission number can be taken as the primary key. එහෙනම් මම ඕන් එකක් කිව්වා. සමහර වෙලාවලට we can have multiple values. නැහැ පුතේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි ඉන්ඩෙක්ස් නම්බර් එක කියන එක ඉස්කෝලේ කතා කරොත් නේ බට් ග්ලෝබල් ලෙවල් එකේදී ගත්තොත් අපි එක්සෑම් වගේ එකකදී ගත්තොත් හරි ඒක වෙනස් වෙනවා අන්තිමවල උනා ඒක මෙහෙමයි ඒක වාගේ තියෙන data නෝ decide කරා so what Dolina's question was there could be index numbers in same index numbers in several classes. Yes, it's possible, right? That's maybe why we are giving admission number in schools. This good morning. Okay, so we can say both index number and admission number we can consider as input. පුතා කිව් එක හරි. ඒ කියන්නේ ඉන්ඩෙක්ස් නම්බර් එක අපි ස්කෝල වයිස් ගත්තොත් වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මම මේක නිකන් උදාහරණයක් එක ස්කෝල එකක කියලා හිතුවොත් right ඒක යුනික් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි admission number කියන එක පුතා කියන එක හරි. There's a point I took it, but for the time being let's assume that index number in a school අපි මේක එක තැනක් නේ හිතන්නේ නේද? Education department level ගත්තොත් ඔයාගේ කතාව හරි. Definitely we have to have admission number as the primary key. හරි පුතේ එහෙනම් අපි අදට මෙතනින් නතර කරමු.